Hey guys, so I thought it was time to do another thrift haul highlight video, and that's where I don't show you everything that I picked up on a certain day or a certain, thrifting trip, but I just kind of show you highlights of a few of the things we picked up this week, and hopefully they're items that can help you, that you can learn from and help you with your own reselling and flipping and thrifting. So I'm going to start off right away with a hard good. This was probably my best find of the week. I don't know if any of you recognize this little piggy bank. You can see he is missing a stopper down here, but those can be found or gotten pretty easily. I saw it on the shelf at the thrift store, a little local thrift, and I recognized the face. And what I'm normally used to seeing here is a decal with the cornflower blue little decal right there. So that should give you a hint. I thought that was the only pattern that these little piggy banks existed in, but I recognized, I said, wait a minute, that's like Spice of Life. So another corning pattern. So I said, well, that's really interesting. And I went ahead and I just grabbed it. I knew there's no prices. Not everything is priced at that thrift store. You get a price when you go up to the counter. But I did feel better when I saw this sticker on this side that says, it's 1983, it's National Premium and Merchandising, made in Taiwan, and it says the decorative designs used are under license granted by Corning Glassworks. So it is an official licensed item. I just went ahead and bought it. It was probably a couple dollars. You know, she kind of just gave me a lump sum for the items I got. And I got out to the car and I said, all right, let's see what's up with this. And it's a little harder to find. I'm gonna put a comp up here. These are the two that have sold in the last 90 days, and they both sold for $125. And there are none listed right now in this pattern. So I'll be interested to see how quickly this does sell. I'll probably get it listed sometime today. Anyway, I was super excited about that. So that made my day. The cornflower blue one seems to be a little bit more common. There are still some listed, some for higher than the $125. And then there's a bunch in solds, and they're, they sell anywhere from like $135, $125 to below $100. Cause I think just cause they're a little bit more common. I may start my pricing a little bit higher than the $125 because I don't have a coupon running right now, but I probably will start that coupon up again soon. Sales have been a little slow, but that's okay. That's just life, right? And I have a theory about that, but I will have to share that another time. Another item we found this week, this was a Mr. Pish Posh find. I just wanted to share one of his things that he was excited about. This is a backpack. Let's try to get up here. It's Manfrotto. Is that how you say it? Manfrotto. It's a camera video accessory company. I guess pretty expensive kind of stuff. Anyway, it's a backpack that is a camera case. I think you can also keep a laptop and everything in it. So it's a fairly good size, but it was in really good condition. Was $10 at Goodwill. We had a 20% coupon, and so we paid $8. It's all cleaned out, and it has the things inside for all the cushioning and things like that that go with it. So again, as I talk about these things, my son is my editor these days, my 16-year-old, and so he'll put up some comps for me there. Sorry, I'm like jiggling everything. Anyway, I think there were a couple that were sold brand new from the UK for 60, 70, somewhere in there. Someone's got one listed for 71. We're gonna shoot right around $80 and see what happens. Anyway, he was super excited to find something from that company, so just thought I would pass that on to you, Manfrotto. Okay, so I did find some clothing. We haven't really deeply looked at the clothing lately, and we kind of burned out on clothing a little bit, so we had turned our attention to some of our home, hard goods and vintage and things like that. So, but there was a day I went to a thrift store, and it had been a while since I had gotten there when they were rolling out carts like for new clothing. And so that kind of got me in the mode, right? I found a few things on those carts, and then I went and I went through the men's pants. And it's a part of the thrift store. I don't usually look through all the men's pants. I tend to just kind of look if I'm looking for my own family. So same thing, I picked up this pair of pants for my son, but they were too big. So these turned out to be, they're Under Armour, which is not a brand I usually pick up for resale, but they're Under Armour. It's a line called Storm. Okay, and so that's just something that we've kind of learned along the way, that whether it's a hat or some kind of accessory or things like that, Under Armour Storm items seem to sell pretty well for us. They sell pretty quickly. Now these are a ripstop fabric. That's the fabric that has like the grid pattern on it. These would have been perfect for my son, so I probably should probably even look online now that I know that they would work, and just get a smaller waist size for him. He's a skinny one. Anyway, I'm sorry, he's editing this video, so he's like, Mom. Okay, so we decided, since they don't fit him, we're just gonna go ahead and list them. And we were pleasantly surprised to see that we could probably get about $40 for these pants. I paid $2 just because the pants had no price tag, and that's what the guy came up with at the register. So that was actually a pretty good deal. Okay, here's another brand that I have sold before. I paid $5 for this, and I don't know, I'm okay with it. I have sold it before. It's called Ryan Michael. Is it Ryan Michael? Yeah, no S at the end. Ryan Michael. And it's super soft. It has a nice southwestern pattern on it. It's super long, kind of like a tunic dress thing. But I was just looking because I was like, oh, Ryan Michael. So I had sold, I think, a denim shirt super fast before. And so when I looked at comps, I was like, oh, that's not really very exciting. And I thought, well, maybe it's died down since the last time I found the brand. So I just wanted to point out, when I look up Ryan Michael's shirt, I got, the sell-through is actually about 100%. So that's actually really good. And that includes men's and women's. Now, men's pricing seems to be a lot better. So if you can find Ryan Michael men's Western shirts, you're gonna get more like the $40-$50 range. Women's shirts seem to be more in the like $25 to $30 range. It's a little bit pilly. I'll see what I can do about that, but I'll shoot for about $30 on that one. I think it'll sell. Okay, so then, yikes, my little pile. This was a different day. This wasn't that thrift store I was just talking about. This was actually Goodwill. And one thing I did notice this week with all the thrift stores is that there are so many winter coats. So my theory is people are not buying them anymore. They're done. They're done with winter. It's February. We've had such a strange winter here in Montana. So locally people are like, they're just done with it. So they're okay with the coats they've got, or maybe they got coats for Christmas and they donated their older coats, but there's just so many coats and people are not buying them. So I've been looking through them. I don't mind holding on to these till next season. I mean, I could list them now, but you know us, we always have plenty of things to list. So it just makes more sense for us to try to be a little more seasonal with what we're listing. I just love this coat, so I bought it. It's not a known brand or anything like that. It's like a store in Billings, Montana. I just like the style of it. It's wool. It does have a Union tag in it, but look at the buttons. I like that little gap in the buttons. That's on purpose. And it's like a long women's trench coat, kind of military looking. It does have a belt. The belt is still there. I just really love the look of that. So I probably will just wait. I'll throw that in the closet, and hopefully next fall Hopefully next August, I will get that listed so that we're ready to go when fall and winter and people really start thinking about buying those things. I just love the style of that. I picked up another winter coat that I thought was super cute. It's a puffer. It's also vintage. Women's pink puffer. It's the Seattle Quilt Manufacturing Company. Look at that old label. Love those old labels. And what else did I want to show you? Look at that Talon zipper. Isn't that fun? Just a big old vintage metal zipper. So there are some men's coats listed right now. It is goose down. I think that'll do okay. Same thing. I might list it now. It is a nice pink, like wouldn't that be a nice spring ski coat? We'll see. I might do that one now. Just see how it does. Now back to that other day when the carts were coming out. I saw this jacket on there. It's Western style wool. So you see the yoke, and then it's got the yoke on the back there too. And sure enough, it's Pendleton, and it's Pendleton high grade Western wear, which is always a nice one to find. It'd be better if it did have some kind of Southwest Aztec type pattern on it, but that's okay. We'll try it as is. It's just a nice blue, and it's kind of a bomber style jacket. And I paid $10 for that, so I didn't think that was that bad. We might get that one on soon. Now, the other thing I picked up was Carhartt. This is not a vintage Carhartt, but, oh, and comps on the Pendleton, I don't know. A lot of the comps were the Aztec or whatever. So if I can find something that may be from Terra Peak or something like that, I'll put that up on there. But I think we'll just have to kind of make up a price. Now this one is newer. It's a woman's vest, but it's an interesting color. It's like a lavender, a purple. It's also Sherpa lined, and it's got a hood. And so I did find comps on this one. Now it's one of those situations where people are just selling similar off someone else's listings and they don't change the title. So there's like 5 listings that all have the same title. I'm like, come on, use your imagination, people. Anyway, and they all say super rare, ultra, oh, they all say ultra rare. I'm like, no, if there's like 6 of them, they're not ultra rare, okay? So this one, what's nice is it's a 2XL or a size 20. It says in parentheses, and I believe comps were kind of like in the $80 range. I don't remember. I'll put some up here. You can take a look at that. But anyway, it's in fairly good condition. My only issue is like the detergent they use. So we're going to wash that because I don't even like being around the scented detergents. Okay. Then back to a hard good real quick. Now let's finish the clothing because then I'll end with the couple hard goods we have. Anyway, this was earlier in the week. This was kind of fun. So I have some footage I'm going to put right here. We tasked my youngest with trying to get some footage of us at the thrift store, and he got a few things. So this was what we were showing in that footage. These are suspenders, and the brand is CC Filson. So it's a Seattle company, very expensive stuff. They're vintage, paper tag on there, and it has a style number, made in the USA, all that kind of stuff. Now, oh, size long, that's kind of cool. So they have the leather ends and everything. I sold a somewhat similar pair, slightly different style, that were really faded. I think they were red, but they had faded to orange. Like that person like worked them. Filson's is workwear, outdoor wear, and it didn't matter. So those distressed Filson suspenders still sold for $40. These are in a little bit better condition, but they definitely have some age and some vintage life to them. So we're gonna shoot for probably about the same, $40 to $50 on those. I haven't done any comps yet, so we'll throw some comps up here when we pull that all together. That was just kind of a gut. It's Filson, just buy it. Hey guys, so quick note on those red Filson suspenders. I'm pretty sure those are actually not vintage. They do say made in the USA, but I saw another tag that was less faded online and it says made in the USA. It's a paper tag, same as mine, and it says filson.com. So not vintage. I think the vintage ones I had were a little bit different. They had like a white kind of padded inside. These are just red on both sides, so I do not believe that they are vintage. I will take another look at the tag in strong light and see if I can see that filson.com as well. But just wanted to make sure I wasn't giving false information. Filson usually works. Now, it was a Filson kind of week because, and Filson is not something I come across every day. It is a Bolo brand. It's one you want to take note of. So on those racks that came out, it was kind of cool. I'm going to have to put a picture because the pants I actually got are in the wash right now. But they were a vintage pair that were designed to be worn with suspenders. And I think they missed it because the tag was in the front inside of the pants. And so when I kind of opened the pants to see the brand, you don't see the tag right away. So I read buttons. I look at buttons and everything. So on the buttons, I saw Filson. And I was like, Filson pants. And so then later at home, when I opened it up, I was like, oh, the tag's on the inside. Well, they only had them priced at like $7 or $6 or something like that. So I paid like $3. It was $7. I paid $3.50. So that was exciting. Well, then like I went over to look through more clothing. I was a little bit more thorough with the clothing. And I ended up in the men's pants. That's where I found the first pair of pants for my son. And I came across two more pairs of Filson pants, okay? So this pair, ironically, they had priced at $30, but it was half off day. And so I paid $15, and they are probably worth the least, but we can probably still get about $50 for these. They're just kind of plain. They're just kind of a duck cloth or whatever, not vintage or anything like that. But still decent. 50 bucks I think we can shoot for on that. And then this pair is better. Okay, it says it Filson right there. This is what I can show you. This is something you want to look for with Filson items. Original, what do they call it? Dry tin cloth. Okay, so that's kind of like how they describe like their duck, like the material that their pants are made of, tin cloth. And the ones that are tin cloth sell a little bit better. I think we had something tin cloth, a hat. I think we had a Filson hat that was tin cloth, and that actually sold pretty well. Okay, and they're only from 2018, so they're not vintage or anything, but those would probably be closer to 75 or 80, possibly higher. The first pair, I think I showed you the picture. The first pair I found that were vintage, I think Mr. Pish Posh found a comp around $100. And so I paid, and then I had paid $10 for these. And yeah, 10, 15, $3.50. So like $28.50 I paid for 3 pairs of pants. And we figured we could maybe get, I think we thought we could get about $250. So these must have been about 100. The other pair were 100, and the this so-so pair, 50 bucks. So Filson, definitely something you want to keep a lookout for. And it was a Filson kind of week. I found 4 Filson things this week, which is crazy. Now, the last thing I want to share from one of the same thrift store that I got the pig at. They've been rearranging, and they have an area where they have their kitchenware. They kind of moved it. And so they put out some flatware. I'm going to show you the flatware in a minute because I forgot I also found this. I found this club aluminum. It's called the Perfect Crepe Pan. Sorry, I had it upside down. The club aluminum, nice condition on the bottom, yellow, some scratching on the inside. But what was neat was that it came with a little cookbook. So that together, this pan, probably they're not super easy to find, I guess. So that's about a $35–40 pan we're looking at there, little one. Now, like I said, they put out some flatware. And so the first flatware that I found, well, there were some bags of flatware there, but I'm just gonna show you one piece because it's kind of heavy. So there was a whole set of this flatware. You can see the handle turns down, and I got kind of excited, and it is Dansk flatware, and the pattern is called Torin. So I paid $10 for the box of flatware. It looks like it's pretty much a whole set. It also has some serving pieces in it, which is super exciting. And that I have to dig around in. There's like a pie server, and there's some other serving spoons and things like that. Now, I recently sold a salad fork for $10. So one fork covers my whole investment on that flatware. I'm thinking I might do a variation listing on this one. Someone just asked me recently in the comments how to divide up, or what's best for dividing up flatware in your listings. Now, let me show you the other set. There was another bag with a bunch of flatware that looks like this, nice heavy duty. So I went ahead and grabbed that also, and it's Oneida, which Oneida is not usually, it's usually something that's worth grabbing, but it's newer Oneida, and it's not vintage like USA Oneida, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take a chance. It's pretty solid. It looks like I have a whole set here. So it turns out not super valuable, not probably worth the time to split it all up and do all that. So in this particular case, see, I've got a bunch more forks. In this particular case, I am just going to list the whole lot as a whole set of flatware because I think it's still being made. That's part of the problem. It's not discontinued. And so I think I'll do better. I paid $10 for that set of flatware too. And so in that case, I'm just going to lot it up and list it for like $75 and just move the whole lot out all at once. Now, when things are a little bit more valuable, it's not the top, it's not the top highest value Dansk pattern there is, but there are people who are looking for it. So I could just put, I could do 4 forks, 4 knives, 4 salad forks, things like that. I could just divide it up that way. Perfect. I do it all the time, and it would sell perfectly well. Probably the serving pieces by themselves or grouped together. So what I've kind of come to the conclusion is that you will make the most money if you sell the pieces individually, but it probably will take the longest amount of time, and you may end up with pieces that just, you'll have this variation listing that's just down to knives, and people are coming to your listing and it, doesn't have anything great in it anymore. But probably for profit, you would probably make the most money. I see a lot of flatware sellers, that's how they do all of their flatware listings. People can buy exactly the pieces that they want. And it's a totally valid way of listing flatware. The next possible way to do it is to, like I said, divide it up into either 2 forks or 4 forks and just do a bunch of listings, but break up your set into smaller lots, and you'll make that probably moves a little bit faster, but your profit will be slightly less than selling it individually. And then the last option, selling it as a whole lot, you're going to make the least amount of money that way. Now, I totally could, like I said, that other set, I totally could, you know, put that as people buy one piece at a time. But I think it would take a really long time. And each piece I'm going to be selling for like $2, $3, $4. What if somebody buys one? I just, you know, I don't like that. So that one will go as a whole big lot. The dance, I'll still have to decide how I want to do that. And I'll look at some comps and see how things are selling, whether in those variation listings or if they're selling pretty well, dividing it up into smaller lots. So hopefully that makes sense. And anyway, that was just super nice to find a really good flatware haul. It had been a while to get a good brand like that, like Dansk. So let me know in the comments down below what you've been finding lately in your thrift store. What was your favorite find of the week? And then stay tuned. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And I always share my solds. So throughout, you know, every week I usually have at least one what sold video sharing the things that have sold for me in my reselling business that week. And so you can kind of follow along and see how these things are selling. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.